Okay, oh, they joined the PvP. Okay, okay. I was really confused. Okay, so it looks like some of the other casters have split off and they're going for the PvP instead. Meanwhile, we're getting into our own ZvZ and spawning in the bottom left-hand corner of Ancient Cistern. We have the South Korean Zerg player representing CranKy Z Gaming. It is Dark. And spawning in the top right-hand corner of Ancient Cistern, we have his opponent representing Onside Gaming, the South Korean Zerg. It is Solar. So I apologize, I wasn't able to get the predictions up. I'll try and do it for the next one. I'll try and set up predictions for the finals. Hold me to that. Look, I was distracted because I thought we were missing casters. I was panicking a little bit. I was like, where'd everyone go? What happened? It's all good. But yeah, this is going to be a little bit of a rematch. I do recall a couple of days ago, I was casting alongside Chase. We were casting ESL Open Cup Asia. And we were lucky enough to come across Dark versus Solar. I think it was Dark versus Solar in the grand finals. And it was actually pretty one-sided. You can check out the VODs. The VODs are on Twitch, and the VODs will be on YouTube soon. But Dark versus Solar was pretty insane. It was a 3-0. It was a best of 5, and Dark bullied Solar. Dark was so crisp with his timings, with his micro, with his control, with his aggression, and it felt like Solar was stuck kind of trying to respond to him. In a way. Solar was even forced to actually be the one all-inning as well against Dark. It was kind of crazy how the series turned out and the dynamic between these two players. I mean, they are the best players in Korea currently. You can make an argument that like Ragnarok's up there as well, but regardless, top 2, top 3 players when it comes to the Zergs. And yeah, it was kind of surprising how quickly the series ended overall. I think both Chase and I, we were like hoping for more. We wanted more. We're like, yo, let's get a game 4, let's get a game 5. But yeah, it was very impressive how Dark was able to dominate overall. But that was a couple of days ago. That was like 5 days ago. So since then, I'm sure Solar's been able to ruminate over that series and can adjust. Of course, these are two very strong players and they can take maps off each other. Typically, it just comes down to who is better on the day itself, who's feeling a little bit better, who has the better mental state, and who is able to overcome the other. Here we go. As this is not going to be a best of 5, this is a best of 3. Again, best of 3s all the way until the grand finals, which is where the best of 5s are held. Until then, hatch gas pool all around. Third base is on time as well for everyone. And we have our Bailey Nest, so very standard openers here from both of our players on Ancient Cistern. Another one of those large maps. Not as open as Altitude, but very comparable. Very comparable. As Dark, this is what I love about Dark. You know, like, so far we've had some pretty passive games up until like 3-base saturation. Even the last game when Ragnarok went all in, you know, he did at least try to hide it as well, and it took a while for him to really pull that trigger. But here, Dark, you know, he's going to be at least amassing these lings for the defense. He can, of course, use them to harass a little bit across the map as well and force a reaction out of Solar as 6 more lings are on the way. And Dark, should be making use of them soon. Oh, there we go. I said 6. I meant to say 18. As Dark is going to be rushing across the map and testing the control here of Solar's Lingbane. As Dark is going to slip in with his lings, just confirm the saturation in the natural. Doesn't quite make it into the main base. Solar on the other side, though, similar to Ragnarok, did sneak out a very fast Roach Warren, and he is going to be rushing across the map with everything he has. Thankfully for Dark, Dark was in the middle of making lings. So Dark does have a standing army, but against Lingbane Roach, I think I want to favor Solar a little bit here. We'll see, as again, it will still come down to those Baneling connections. Here we go, the first Baneling coming on in for Dark, going to be trying to zone away the army. Roaches do reveal themselves though, and Dark has to back off. Again, Dark had no idea about the Roach one, he had no idea about these Roaches in general, and this is going to be a tight defense. Again, Dark's Roach Warren just now starts. He's throwing down a Spine Crawler. This may just be checkmate. Oh. We shall see, as Dark is threatening these roaches, but again, the roaches have the support of banelings. Like, surrounds are going to be so difficult to pull off. Solar's actually pulling back. I'm surprised. I feel like Solar has a window here. I feel like he can make something happen, but no, he respects Dark a little bit too much. He will be backing off and he will be droning instead. And that means that the investment into all these roaches isn't gonna really come to fruition. Solar does have a drone lead, to be fair, and he's gonna be able to extend that lead, but yeah, from here, Dark is no longer in any danger. He can drone. And to get into his own roaches. So very interesting kind of back and forth that we just saw. Like, both players were being aggressive in their own way. Both players see each other and then they back off. Even though, again, I do feel like Solar had some potential. I think maybe the biggest issue with moving out for Solar would be that he would be leaving his bases vulnerable and Dark could just go for a big counterattack. Like, he could just link flood across the map and force a kind of weird all-in scenario where he you know, eviscerates the mineral line in the natural or in the third base, and Solar's forced all in when he maybe doesn't want to be. Oh. So in the end, both players do drone up to 59. We see roach production commencing once again for Solar. Dark now has access to his own roaches, so he can try and match the army of his opponents, but overall he does have a far lower roach count. Ooh, as he goes for a little bit of a Bane Waddle Bite, and he actually does get 6 drones. Oh. Very nicely done here. So he's going to be forcing a reaction out of Solar. Solar is not looking to replace those drones. He's going for a massive counterattack, and we have 32 roaches against the 12 of Dark. Again, Solar still has a massive supply lead. And I think this may just be it. Dark is trying to muster a defense. He has a lot of banelings to support himself, but in Roach v Roach, Baneling isn't the most useful of units here. He's gonna force at least some kiting here. He's gonna buy himself a little bit of time. We have another Spine Crawler on the way. The Banelings are rolling on in, but the Roaches of Solar are standing strong here. He still has a massive lead, and he's looking to just bust on through. Dark trying his hardest to hold on, but again, because of the early game, because of the advantage, Solar just has far too much. The boys are pulled, 14 drones go down, and the army is gonna follow suit. GG gets called, Solar takes the first game. Ay, ay, ay. GG. Dark rolling the dice a little bit, and unfortunately, sometimes when you gamble, especially when you cut drones really early on, the way that Dark did, oh, I don't want to be in here. Alright. But yeah, especially when you cut drones that early and when you're that committed, it's difficult to recover. It really is difficult to recover overall. Oh. So Dark did attempt to. He definitely did attempt to, and hey, he was able to eventually take a worker lead, but alas, Solar, his Roach lead was just a little bit too good in the end, and now we are going to be finding ourselves into game number 2. Ooh. And game 2 is going to be on Royal Blood. Vámonos, vámonos. So I gotta keep an eye on these Roach timings. Sorry, on these Roach Warren timings. Here we go, spawning in the top right hand corner of Royal Blood. We have the South Korean Zerg player representing Dragon Kaizi Gaming. It is Dark. And spawning in the bottom left hand corner of Royal Blood, we have his opponents. We have the South Korean Zerg player representing, say onside earlier, Onside Gaming. Currently leading this series, it is Solar. Here we go. But yeah, really rough game there from Dark. Again, it was... I almost want to say it was a build order loss from Dark. I think that is accurate to what happened in game one, just because both players were blind to what each other were doing. They were blindly going into their own respective aggressive builds, and Solar's was just better, just straight up. Like Dark was link flooding and Solar was rushing into roaches, without skipping his baneliness at that, and yeah, Solar was able to just come out on top with that. Oh, so because of the way game one turned out, I'm pretty sure Dark isn't feeling too bad about it. It's like, you know, he gambled, it happens, you know, what are you gonna do? It's not like he got outplayed, or it's not like he got out-controlled or anything like that. There were things out of his control that impacted that game just because of what happened. So yeah, I'm sure he can very easily shake it off and get into game number 2 here. But what is scary about this situation is that it's a best of 3. Dark, one more slip up, one more loss, and he is out of this tournament. He's out of this weekly, so in that sense, there is going to be a little bit more pressure on him here, as both players do go for hatch gas pool openers. Once again, nothing too crazy to speak of. And Solar's been looking pretty damn good overall. Solar was inactive for a while. I want to say post Katowice, Solar maybe took a break. We weren't really seeing him in the ESL weeklies, like ESL Open Cup Asia or Americas, for like a good 3 weeks, or maybe a good month. He just wasn't around. As a result, there was a significant lack of Zerg representation in those weekly tournaments. It was like Dark and like Mondo. Like there were like 2 Zerg players and that's it. DRG wasn't as active, same with Ragnarok as well. So it's great to see him returning, great to see him back. You know, I'm sure a lot of players did want to take a break after the World Finals just because it is the off season, and of course news was coming out about GSL and everything. So I don't blame him, but that's why it's also really great to see him back. It's great to see him back and in form and looking damn good. As with the debut of KSL, it gives these players that much more to fight for, that much more to play for. And it's supposed to incentivize players to continue to compete and continue to perform. So, yeah, in that sense, shout out to Dave, Tesla, and Chicken Man again for making KSL a thing, for making it a reality, and, yeah, supporting the Korean community when it needs it the most, to be honest, when it does need it the most. So, exclamation mark KSL in the chat if you want to link to the Patreon, if you want to be a part of the Korean community, of supporting the Korean scene, and be a part of a great movement that did happen. Oh, it's beautiful, Poppy. It's beautiful. As we do see, you know, Dark being a little bit aggressive here with these Lings, going to be applying some pressure to the third base, but Banelings are being morphed in here for Solar. Once they are done, we should be able to fend this off. Nice snipe on that creep tumor, though. A little bit of value as Dark does back off. Oh. And once again, Solar throwing down a very early Roach Warren hidden behind the natural base. Very similar to last game, by the way, as he did end up delaying or skipping his upgrades, and he is going for a very early Roach push. Oh boy. Dark on the other side of things, he is going to just be droning from here. He is investing quite a lot into these Lings, so this is a very similar scenario to last game, except Dark made less Lings and he's droning a lot more. So, you know, a lot more sensible here from Dark. We'll see if he can defend, though, as he's only going to have Ling Bane to hold on, and he's going up against Ling Bane Roach of Solar. There we go. Solar testing the waters with his Lings, just trying to trade as best he can to begin with. Banelings are rolling on in as well, so has to be careful not to waste them. Oh. Meanwhile, the Roaches are coming in from behind as well. Solar very committed with this push. We see 2 Spine Crawlers at the third base here for Dark. Oh, are they going to be able to finish in time? Oh, Dark, though, he does lose both of his Banelings. Oh, and we have 3 more behind that as well. These Lings, they cannot get us around. They cannot engage with the Roaches. Yeah, this is the power of the defensive Banelings for Solar. He's just forcing everything back, and the connection is too good. Oh, Dark loses every single one of his Lings. He loses his Spine Crawlers. Roaches are on the way, but the third base has been broken. The drones try to escape, but they are all going to be hunted down. The roaches keep on pushing forward. The third base is going to fall, but Solar wants more than the third. He wants to kill Dark. Oh, as I say that, Solar's droning. But if he can break the natural, then I'm sure he would love to, as he's going to be testing the waters here. He can maybe even take down this Evo Chamber. Evo Chamber +1 range will finish just in time. Evo Chamber will fall. Dark is being contained to 2 bases. Solar is saturating his third as we speak. And the Lings are flooding on in. Oh god, the bathings! Oh, they finish just in time. They get some decent connections. With those bathing connections, it looks like Dark should be able to hold on, but not without losing even more drones. Ay, ay, ay. 2 games in a row. Dark getting caught out by these early roaches. And even though Dark is going to be able to clean up the roaches of Solar, he lost so many workers. He is down to 29 as opposed to the 48 of Solar. Oh. Now Dark is all in. We have Roach Speed that's about to finish up. I don't expect Dark to drone from here. It looks like he's going to try and take a third base, but Roaches are what he's making. It's what he's prioritizing. He's going for a counterattack. We'll see if he can make something happen. Dark does have a Roach lead. Of course, we are going to have some added defensive queens available for Solar, but 1 queen goes down immediately. The reinforcements are trickling on in. But Dark still has a bit of an advantage. Oh. The Ravager, though, forcing him back, and that's just gonna be it. GG gets called. Solar fights back, gets his revenge from ESL Open Cup Asia this week, and he takes the 2-0. Oh, GG. 2 games in a row, mate. Goes for the early Roach Warren, keeps it hidden, keeps it safe. Oh. And Dark just wasn't expecting it, wasn't ready for it until it was too late. Oh, and yeah, just abusing Dark's lack of scouting overall, whether it's with his Overlord, whether it's with his early Lings as well. Oh. Dark getting caught with his pants down, and congratulations to Solar. He's going to be taking the series and moving on to the Grand Finals, where he has an opponent ready and waiting for him. Looks like Hero versus Cure has completed. And what is the score? What happened there?